Are we live, Donna? Or?
Yes, sir.
You just confirm when I'm on the channel? Everybody can hear me? Okay, maybe you remove that sound. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Q3 Town Hall. This is the third Town Hall we have for the year. And as you know, this is now a regular meeting we'll have every quarter. So as usual, we'll go through a few updates, company updates for you to know what's happening. We'll have a few updates from HR. And then as usual, we'll have questions and answers. I think most of you a lot of you have responded to the link sent from HR. We've received close to 50 questions, so we are going to answer them as usual. Let's kickstart. Before I go through the year-to-date performance update, I wanted to go through a few important changes that happened in the mobility division over the last couple of months. Donna, if you can move to the next slide. Right, so I think you are used to this organogram, which depicts the management team at Watu. In orange, you see mostly the changes that occurred within Q3, starting with Benjamin Mukasa, who joined us in September as the new head of mobility. Right, so basically he's responsible for the performance of the mobility segment at Watu. There is also Rachel Nanteza, who was previously responsible solely for Shule and has been promoted to a retail operations manager, meaning that asset finance officers and customer care officers at the branch report to her. And you know that our intent is at some point to merge these two functions into one. This plan is still there, but we are letting Rachel some time to get into her new role. Mostly in Q4, you will see this plan coming through. As a result of Rachel taking bigger responsibilities, we also just appointed Denis Agaba, previously branch manager for OIMA, as the new Shule manager, reporting to Rachel. One more change is Patricia Kassiri, who was previously in charge of operations control. She now also has responsibility over our asset ownership transfer team, so the team that is transferring logbooks from our Boda clients who have completed their loan. And last but not least, within Q3, we created a new role of regional manager in Central region. So far this year, we didn't have any regional manager in Central. And the person who was selected for this role is Alan Mwine, our branch manager from Makerere. So now we have 4 regional managers for West, Central, East, and North. And last but not least, within the branch managers, there's been also a few changes. Our branch manager from Ndeba, Duncan, moved to Jinja. Our branch manager from Lurero, Ambrose, moved to Ndeba. Our branch manager from Kapshorwa, Emmanuel, moved to Lurero. As a result of this, as it stands now, we have 3 branch manager position opened, and the recruitment is still ongoing. One for Kapshorwa to replace Emmanuel, one in Makerere to replace Alan, who was promoted as a regional manager, and one for OIMA to replace Denis, who was promoted as Shule manager. Quite a number of changes. Sorry? Oh, yes. Thank you, Daphne, for reminding me. The Gulu branch manager also changed. Stephen, who was our asset risk supervisor for the North, has been promoted as Gulu branch manager. Thank you for reminding me. So quite a number of changes, but they are, all quite positive, I think. Join me in congratulating all the people who've been promoted. As you see, except for Benjamin, it's mostly internal promotions. And then, it's not every day that there are branch manager positions opened. We have 3 now, so please, apply and get a chance to be promoted branch manager. No change within Q3 on all the rest of the organogram. Let's move to now the year-to-date update. I will start with Boda this time. Yeah, as a reminder, this was the big themes we set ourselves at the beginning of the year. We wanted to grow the portfolio. We wanted to keep or ideally improve portfolio quality, and we wanted to improve our cost management. I will not go into details of everything, but what I would say so far this year is that we've done great on number one. We are not where we want to be on number two, and that will be a core focus in the last quarter of the year. And we are, I would say, on track in number three. There's still ongoing initiatives ongoing, right? But so kind of a mixed achievement, and this will really has to be a core focus for all of us in quarter four. Let's now move in the details of the different segments. Yeah, you can move straight to Boda. Okay, so as usual on this graph, you can see in the dark blue are targets for Boda this year for every month of the year, and our achievement. You can see that in quarter two there was a big drop, largely because of CMU overperforming and fund availability being scarce. So we had some stock issues at the branch. The good thing is that within quarter three, especially August and September, you see that we've really come back to where we should be. And in September, we even did better than the budget. Right? And in October, we have now stock everywhere in all branches. So our aim is to also beat budget in October. When it comes to repo, you can see that more or less the whole year we've been faring slightly below target. I would say one of the elements, it's not the only one, but one of the elements that is penalizing us is the ongoing concern with missing number plates, bikes that are repossessed with only 1 or 0 number plates. And it's been challenging up to now to get the Ministry of Works to give us replacement number plates. All right, so again, Q3 quite positive. Overall, if we take the year, there's been some challenges. So now quarter four really should be focused on making sure we keep a good uptake of loans. Other key priorities in quarter four will be to solve this number plate issue. And we have very positive news now. We've started to finally get some traction, and Ministry of Works is now coming to our warehouses to change the plates. So we expect that quarter four will look better. Another point where we need to do better is asset risk. Every month, you cannot really see this on the graph, but we lose too many bikes to theft. And so our asset risk team have done a lot of things and run a lot of initiatives to improve this, but we still have to do better. And collections, I will get back to it. Collections have been mostly great till September, but in September it has dipped. Therefore, we really need to work at improving this in quarter four. I will now move to, okay, before we move, I also wanted to update you on one project that the brand team has been leading since quarter two. I think I talked about it in the last town hall. We have embarked into a branch rebranding exercise with two objectives. One, making our branches nicer, as a place to work for our employees and as a place to visit for our clients, but also make the branches more representative of what Watu does. So not just being all about Boda, but it should be clear and displayed in the branch that Watu also does Shule, Watu also does EV, and Watu also does Simu. And so here is an example of Makerere. You can see that was just rebranded in September. And this is more or less the kind of branding that we have deployed in all branches. So far, Endeba, Makerere, Iganga, and Jinja have been rebranded. This very month, Mbarara and Lira for sure will be rebranded, perhaps more. And the goal is that we will release this in every single branch, one branch at a time. So if your branch has not been rebranded, be patient, it's going to come. Donna, let's move. I will leave the floor to Peter to just tell us a bit about the Customer Service Week initiative that was run last week. I think it's the first time that we do it in such a fashion. Maybe I'll share with you my... Oh, sorry. Okay.
All right, so good morning, everyone. There's the camera. Yeah, good morning, everyone. So again, my name is Peter for everyone watching. I would like to update us on what happened last week with Customer Service Week. This was a pivotal week for the customer care team. And like Damien said, for the first time, we made an active effort to first of all, celebrate our customers, and also with the help of all the branches and all the branch managers, run a couple of activities that were aimed at celebrating our internal customer service teams, as well as rewarding some of the customers that we have. Donna, I don't know if you can, on the side, there's a play button. If you could play a quick video. Not sure if everyone online will be able to hear. James, can you confirm? But yeah, basically we were able to give new customers reflectors, some existing customers we gave them bags as well as reflectors. But the bigger thing was we had a group of customers that were very loyal, people who had taken over 6 loans with Watu that we rewarded with mobile phones. I saw this had very big impact in the branches. We had a lot of appreciation for the customers who received all these gifts and prizes. We did get a bit of feedback with regards to the people who got bags that they wanted something bigger because they did take more than 2 loans with us, which is feedback that we appreciate. But being the first time that we did this, I think that it was a great initiative to show our customers that we appreciate them. And besides our external customers, let's move to the next slide, please. We also had some initiatives for our internal customer support teams. So basically every branch participated in different thematic dress codes through last week. We had celebrations on Friday with a lot of with cake cutting across all the branches. I would also like to congratulate the Mbale branch because we celebrated them as the top branch of the year 2025. This was based off of the CSAT surveys that are done. I would also like to take an opportunity to thank all the branch managers who made this event possible because there was a lot of very active participation from all the branches. I received very positive feedback from a good number of branch managers and saw it for myself. At the call center as well, we awarded some of the top performing customer service officers for the year 2025. So thank you everyone who assisted in making this event possible, including the branding team, the procurement team, as well as the internal customer service management team, and Damien for the approvals, of course.
All right, thank you, Peter, and well done to you and all the team that has been part of organizing this. I think it's been really a nice event where we put customers in the center. We reward our very loyal customers, and I would say based on the great excitement, this is definitely something we'll be willing to repeat next year. Let's now move to EVs. So EVs, I would say Q3 has been there's been some positive and some negative. The positive is that you can see the trend continuously increasing. We've reached our record in August with 231 new EVs being given as loan. Unfortunately, in September it dipped a bit, but we believe overall the trend remains very positive for this year, even if we are quite below our initial expectation at the beginning of the year. What we could say is that this dip is partially driven by a lot of things happening in the EV market right now. One of Gogo's key competitors, Spyro, has had an agreement with the Boda union. They are giving away a lot of bikes at a very, very cheap price, down payment as low as 150,000. And what we've seen is that at least as a short term, this has a bit disturbed the perception, the global perception in the market of EVs. But we believe this is going to be short term, and we believe we will get back to 200 plus in October. And generally, we continue to be very ambitious and optimistic about the prospect of EVs in the country. I will tell more in the next slide about what's going on in Q4. This is going to be an eventful quarter for EVs. First of all, this very week, a new bike is being introduced that will replace the previous one, EV125. You can see the picture here. It's called EV150. So back to basically taking into consideration the feedback received from customers that they quite liked the first version of EV150, which was made from a TVS 150 bike. So GoGo has taken this feedback on and now secured this new bike. The price will go for 5.5 million, 700,000 down payment, which continues to be 200K less than for ICE. And interest rate continues to be also lower than for ICE bikes. So in average, a client would pay 95K per week, where a typical ICE clients would pay 105K in average. Right? And one new thing also from GoGo for this bike is that on top of the 1 year warranty on the bike, there is a 2 years free servicing. So for 2 years, the client is not going to pay any engine oil. And as you know, for an ICE bike, engine oil is actually quite a big cost. You have to change roughly every 2 weeks and pay 15,000 shillings. So that's a lot of cost. So yeah, we are quite confident that this bike is going to find its demand on the market. On the network side, I hope most of you have been able to see this with your eyes in the streets. One feedback we had given to GoGo was that yes, they have the biggest network, but their network is not very visible. Some of their stations, there was barely a signage. And so they took this feedback really on, and they are rebranding all of their swap stations with painting, also with luminous signages. And I think it's very important that existing clients as well as potential clients see visually in the streets that GoGo is out there and that there is quite a lot of stations. It's actually the biggest network in Uganda. So that's one aspect. On the network expansion side, GoGo continues to add new stations. Last time we talked, they had 135. Now they have 155. Right? So they continue to add about 5 stations every month. But they continue also to be focused on Central and the East. They are not deviating from the strategy. They are not starting to plant flags in Gulu and Lira, and because our experience in this market is that for you to be able to satisfy your clients, you need 15 to 20 stations, around the area where you sell the bike. And so that's why we've not also expanded sales to new branches so far. But within Q4, most likely in December, we expect to start selling EVs in Mbale and Tororo. That's a great news. That's the first time this year that we are opening EVs in new branches. One more initiative, which I think is exciting, at least is very new for us. GoGo has a wallet which riders can use to pay for their swaps. What we've introduced from 1st of October is that Watu clients who pay their loan and pay 10,000 on top of their weekly installment for their Watu loan would qualify for free swaps paid by Watu. So if for 3 weeks you have paid 10,000 above your normal installment, we Watu are going to credit you with 10,000 in the wallet. Basically, it's a way to incentivize our clients to pay their loan and be rewarded from Watu with free swaps directly, helping your wallet and your savings. So it's too soon to say if it's successful or not. It just started in 1st of October, but this is an interesting innovation. We will now move to Simu. So Simu, I think last time in the last town hall, we had discussed about the fact that Simu had done so well, so significantly above budget, that this had put us in a position where we actually cannot finance the growth. It was going too fast for us, which is why you've seen like a slowdown in the first few months of Q2. The good news is that this slowdown is now over. You can see already September came back to growth, and in October we expect to get back above 50,000 loans given in a month. So that's great, and generally you can see that we remain far above the initial expectations set for Simu at the beginning of the month. This is great. I would say the only area of caution for Simu is that the portfolio quality remains a concern. And that's also partially why it has slowed down. We do want a lot of Simu loans, but we want good loans. And so we are going to be a bit more careful in Q4 and beyond on the type of loans that we take on. In the next slide, you will see some of the initiatives for Simu in Q4. There's many of them. I've just narrowed down to a few. First of all, the portfolio is evolving. A05 used to be the main product sold in Simu. It used to represent 85-90% of our sales. A05 is slowly disappearing from the market, replaced by A06, and then a new model called A07 is introduced. So from basically October, A06 would become the new main model, and A07 will become the premium model in the market. Another area, and I would give you more details in the next town hall, is our collaboration with Airtel and MTN. We've had a lot of talks with them. Some of these talks already in Q3 materialized. For example, with Airtel, clients who pay their loan in the initial few days qualify for 3 gigs of data free for 3 months, right? So 9 gig in total. This is one type of collaboration with Airtel. We are having similar discussions with MTN, and we are having more discussions with these telcos on how we can partner together, including getting a Simu loan that is locked, at least for data, with a particular telco. So that's kind of a commitment that the client would have to do. But in exchange of that commitment, they would get discount on the device as well as potentially free data. These are discussions ongoing. Again, you will hear more from these discussions. And then last but not least, after sales in Simu has been an area of focus, because when we grow at the level that we grow, adding 40, 50,000 new loans every month, everywhere in the country, we need to make sure that we are in a position to also sort our customers with after sales. If they have an issue with the phone gets broken, the phone gets stolen. One pain point that we've had is that there is only one Samsung service center as of now situated in Kampala. But our sales are everywhere. We sell in the east, we sell in the west, we sell in the north. So we got a commitment from Samsung to set 3 new service centers, west, east, and north. It's not yet done, but they gave us a commitment, and we are going to chase them on that commitment. And for us, Watu at our level, what I'm sure the branches have witnessed and the customer care officers have witnessed is that we are more or less leveraging our branch network. We have a fantastic asset with these branches everywhere in the country. And so we are leveraging those branches for clients to be able to be sorted, come to the branch, and report their issues. But again, we need more service centers so that if somebody reports an asset in Mbale or Fort Portal, the device does not have to travel back to Kampala to be sorted. So that's something we expect to be done within Q4. Let's now move to Shule. As you can see, in Q2, Shule was doing already pretty well and trending above target. Q3, you can see that numbers have really shoot up. So really kudos to the Shule team. We are now pretty much at double what was initially planned in budget. And that's led by every branch really doing better. The conversion rate, meaning how many customers come for a Boda loan and ultimately are also given a Shule loan has moved from roughly 10% at the beginning of the year to now close to 30%. Some branches like Ohima or Kagadi are going as high as 60-80%. Right? And so that gives an idea of the demand for these permits. We continuously get very good feedback from the Boda community, but also the police, UDLS, that we are doing a good job. And so that is really encouraging us to continue. One big event in Q3 is that we launched Northern Region to Shule. It was a soft launch. It took some time to get the license. But now every region of Uganda has Shule. We are registered as a driving school, and we can give permits. So in Q4, I'm sure the North is going to contribute more and more to our Shule enrollment. I would say one area of attention for the Shule team is to improve or increase the number of people not just enrolling, but going through the end-to-end process and actually getting their permits. Today we have a lot of clients who enroll, and because they know they are paying for the permit over 2 years, they take it easy and don't go for the lessons, which is okay in a way. They are telling us, I'm paying for it, I will come at my own time. But we would wish that our clients go as fast as possible and get these permits in their pocket. So that's an area that the Shule team is going to try improve on. Okay, so that's for the 4 business segments. The last slide is going to be on collections for Boda as well as Simu. As I mentioned, this is going to be a key area of focus in Q4, because as much as we are doing quite well on growing the portfolio and we are doing reasonably well on keeping our cost in track, quality portfolio is a KPI we've not really been able to improve so far this year. On the contrary, you can see that Boda, these are collections rates, has done quite okay the whole of this year, but in September there was a big dip. We believe it's a very seasonal effect of the school fees. But we have now in October and November as soon as possible to get back on track to where we've been the first half of the year. And then for Simu, it is more of a slow but sure trend downwards, which we have to reverse by changing the way we acquire loans, changing the way we engage our customers, changing our strategy overall so that we continue to deliver quantity but also improve quality. And on this, a lot of efforts are put into identifying fraud before it comes, holding our Simu dealers and agents accountable for bad quality portfolio, but also arresting fraudulent agents and hackers who are proven to be hacking the device. So my message to especially the branches, because usually when I travel to the branch, I'm getting feedback. Please do not keep feedback or information that you have about X or Y fraudulent FO for yourself. Raise it to your hierarchy because we are going to be very, very serious about arresting these people. Right? So this is it for the year-to-date performance. Again, I would say overall, really kudos to all the teams. Shule is significantly performing above budget. Simu is back on track with more than 50,000 loans a month. Boda has really done a tremendous comeback after a difficult Q2. So let's continue this in Q4. But again, collections team help us to bring Boda collections to where it should be. And Simu, we have all these initiatives in place to improve the portfolio quality. I'm now going to give way to Daphne to give you a few updates on the happenings with regards to HR within Q3.
Thank you so much, Damien. Like we mentioned in the last town hall, we set up a campaign by the names of A Day in the Life. In June, we launched with A Day in the Life with Simu. Basically, this campaign is set up to allow for managers from different departments the opportunity to actively and practically get involved in the works that are done within the different departments of the different product lines that we have in the company. And so in August, we officially launched Day in the Life of Boda. As you can see from the pictorials that we have here, we had different managers from different scopes with senior managers, HODs involved in different areas of the business of Boda. We can see here our CM was a part of the recovery team. Not quite sure if that was a successful recovery, but still a good opportunity for us to really learn what is happening on ground and come up with business objectives that can ensure that our teams are successful and effective. And so we intend to continue this initiative with the other product lines such as EV and Shule, and we hope that we will continue to push this forward even in the next year. Then, as you can see, we officially launched our sports and games gala. This was in September. We soft launched this with the different branches having small events with different stakeholders. We began with various branches like Hoima, Lira, and officially launched the major annual event that we hope to continue in the next coming years with the central branches. So this was held on Saturday, September 27th, and it involved our different stakeholders like the Boda Association, Stanbic Bank, Prudential, and it's an initiative that we set up to energize, motivate, create a culture of community, not only with ourselves, but with our different stakeholders. We look forward to having this gala involving all branches in the next year, and we hope to continue this as we celebrate creativity, collaboration, and togetherness. This is a small image that we put here to show part of the engagement that we had, but I'm sure everyone had an opportunity to look at the other pictorials that were shared via email. It was such an exciting opportunity for people to get together, and I do have to congratulate the customer care team who were the overall champions of the day. And then like Peter mentioned in his submission, on 8th of October we had our cultural day, and this was across all the Watu branches, HQ and call center, where we celebrated the different cultures that encompass the Watu as a company. So this was intended to showcase our diversity, emphasizing unity within the Watu family. We encourage staff to come dressed in their traditional outfits, share with us fun facts that were put out on HiBob for everyone to see. And it also served as a pre-Independence Day celebration, as Independence Day was on 9th of October. This engagement was put out to promote inclusion and togetherness, and I do have to say it was a massive success as we got different pictorials from all across the branches. I have to appreciate all of our staff who actively participated. It was such a fun day with us sharing meals together, talking about our different cultures and sharing stories, engaging in dance, and this is something that we really want to continue to push forward, as not only does it celebrate our different diversity, but also the different cultures that make up our Watu. It fosters connection, pride, and belonging. Something else that we'd like to mention, we will be in Q4 launching the 360 survey for branch managers and supervisors. This is something that we officially launched in Q3 with the heads of departments and senior management. And we will be setting this up for branch managers and supervisors across all departments, including recovery, asset risk, and collections. Information will be shared through the HR department ahead of the rollout so that you may prepare yourselves. But briefly, what is a 360 survey? This gathers confidential feedback. I have to emphasize confidential, as no one will be able to tell who is sharing this feedback. But it shares this feedback from employees, peers, direct reports, and supervisors to provide well-rounded view of leadership effectiveness and interpersonal impact. Why does it matter? It encourages personal and professional growth through balanced insight, and also promotes a culture of open communication, self-awareness, and continuous improvement. Feedback guidelines. Focus on constructive, specific, and behavioral-based feedback. It is also important to avoid personal remarks or vague opinions. The goal is development, not criticism. So we're looking forward to get this feedback from all the peers and direct reports. It's very important for us to take this activity seriously, as the intention is for it to build professional growth and development, and also an opportunity for you to give feedback to your immediate supervisors, as, like I mentioned, senior management and HODs actively participated in Q3. And just before we get into the questions and answers, as we could see, we've been heavily engaged in employee engagement activities. And part of the reason for this is that we realized last year there was very few engagements that were actively launched from the HR department, except for the annual party. And so what we want to do is create a fun committee, or basically an employee engagement committee, which will encompass different individuals from different departments, different levels, and these people will help us come up with different engagements that will enforce teamwork, community, collaboration. And so when we reach out to you, please actively participate. We will be requesting for nominations, and this committee will be actively changed on an annual basis. So we're looking forward to having this committee and more employee engagements in the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you, Daphne. Maybe you can stay here so we...
Okay.
But overall, I think HR has really done a great job in Q3. If we look compared to Q2 or Q1, it's been super eventful in terms of engagement. And as she said, I think communication will go on in terms of how you can join this engagement committee. My ask is that I'm not saying HR is not here to make these events on a silver platter for everyone. Staff have to not be just consumers of these events, but also initiators and participants. Right? So that's why we really want this to be not just HR's work. We want reps of each department. You have to tell us what would excite you, to make sure it's going to really be engaging for everyone. And then HR will be there to support, to organize. Yeah. On the 360 also, again, you will get more guidelines on how to fill this, but please take it seriously. Again, I repeat, it's not going to be used to assess or penalize a certain manager or supervisor. This is just to give them constructive feedback, positive or negative. And we've done it for HODs, including myself. It's been a very useful exercise, and it's been done quite well in Q3. Last point I want to raise, there is an employee satisfaction survey that has been going on, which I think is closing this very day.
Yes.
And we are still at roughly 75% of fill-up rate, 79, which means there's still 21% of you who have not filled this survey. Please, 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 today is the last day, as far as I know. Please fill it. It will not take more than 5-10 minutes max. And I can guarantee you, we are going to look at this feedback and look at what you are telling us and look at how we can be better as a company. So, really get through your emails, make sure you have not missed it, and fill it today.
And just to add on, in case anyone is having difficulty finding the email in relation to the employee satisfaction survey, please reach out to the HR department before end of day so that we can guide you on where to locate the particular email.
Okay, let's go to the Q&A now. Again, we had like close to 50 questions, very varied questions. We've tried to concatenate them into categories here. A lot of questions related to employee benefits, which is not a surprise. It's been the case already the previous town halls. As usual, let us transparently give you an answer, even if this may not be the answer you want to hear, but that's the answer we have. So quite a number of you asked again about salaries relating to the survey that had been carried out last year, and generally asking for updates about salary increase. I believe I updated you in the last town hall, but I don't mind doing it again. Yes, there was a survey done last year, checking for every single role, how does Watu trend compared to other Watu subsidiaries, as well as compared to other companies in Uganda. And the outcome of this survey was that generally Watu pays quite well, quite okay, and better than our direct competitors. And so therefore, the outcome of this survey is not that we are going to reduce salaries, but also not that there will be a bulk increase in salaries. Right? So you should remove this expectation from your mind. It's not going to happen. There was very, very small instances where we were slightly below market, and this has been taken care of in Q2. Right? So this has been done. There will be no bulk generalized increase as part of this exercise. And again, I would say it was good to know that we are generally paying well. We are happy with it. We think it's hopefully a way to attract good talents and a way to retain talents. That does not mean that your salary will be frozen forever, which leads me to the second questions. There were a lot of questions, not generally about salaries, but about promotions and career advancement. I will read some of them. They are slightly specific. I would love management to address issues in recovery, why they don't allow us to cross to branch manager jobs. Could we get more clarity on the criteria for promotions and performance reviews? I recommend management to consider promoting capable junior staff to senior roles when vacancies arise to boost morale, retain talent, etc. And lastly, I would like to raise a concern regarding the promotion process. I suggest that individuals who consistently perform well should be considered for promotion based on merit without necessarily having to wait for a vacancy or go through the standard application process. These are all very valid questions. And again, that helps me to answer this point here. As I said, feedback from the survey, there will not be a generalized salary increase. But a lot of people got increase in Q2 and Q3. These are people who were promoted. At the beginning of this meeting, I went through all the people who were promoted in different capacities. And there are also people who've been promoted as senior. Each and every department has a career pathway. You enter on probation, you are then confirmed, you become officer. There are senior officers' role. You can then, in most departments, get to supervisor. If you are supervisor and you are doing extremely well, you can be promoted as a senior supervisor, right? So besides opportunities that arise when a role is opened, and I mentioned a few of the roles opened in branch manager, there is a lot more. We are recruiting for a CIMU after sales person. We are recruiting for a CIMU back office supervisor. We are recruiting for, what else?
Some of them are looking externally, but then...
Branch managers in Kapshorwa, Oima, Makerere, all these roles are open for internal candidates. I've seen from some comments, some people saying, I've been in the company 5 years, I want a salary increase. Let me maybe clarify here the expectation. The sheer fact that you've been 5 years in the company will not qualify you for an increase necessarily. And the simple counterexample I can give you is that you may be 5 years into a certain role, let's say an officer role, but a new officer that just entered the company is actually performing better than you, is more productive, is having better KPIs, right? It would not make sense for you, just by virtue of being senior in the company, being paid more than somebody junior that is doing a better job than you. Right? So tenure alone does not guarantee you a salary increase. Having said that, and there's countless, so many examples within Watu, again, you can apply for roles, and even, which is answering this question specifically, even when no role is formally opened for application by HR, there are opportunities to become senior officer, senior supervisor, if justified by consistent good performance. And these promotions to senior officers or senior supervisor also come with a slight change in your job description and responsibilities. Right? So in other words, your salary will increase, but you will also be asked to do a bit more.
And maybe if I could jump in as well to elaborate a little bit more on point D. You see, when we're looking at promotions, it's not only about getting more, having a team report under you, or advancing and having a higher salary. There's a people aspect attached to it. If you're to be promoted to a senior level, then you're going to have people reporting under you. Do you exhibit leadership skills? That is also something very important to take into consideration. There are certain elements where we have very high performers, but they lack that leadership aspect. We will not be promoting you to a senior level or role that will have people reporting under you simply because you're a high performer. You may, by being a high performer, it may merit a salary increment, but it will not necessarily merit a promotion to a senior level that requires a team reporting under you, because there is that leadership aspect. And so it requires you to really develop those leadership skills so that you are capable and prepared to take on those responsibilities if given the opportunity. So we also need to be very self-aware and consider the much larger picture, as opposed to just simply looking at, I want to be promoted because I want a higher salary, you know?
All right. Maybe again, to summarize, sorry, key messages. There won't be any bulk increase of salaries. Having said that, everybody is in principle eligible for an increase. And the two only ways for you to get an increase are: one, apply to an openings and be selected. And again, there's many openings. And I want to respond to this one in particular. Recovery roles are not allowed to cross to branch manager. That's absolutely wrong. Steven, our new branch manager in Gulu, was an asset risk supervisor. We have right now 3 branch manager roles opened. They are very open to recovery people. In particular, one in Capshore, where I would say having a recovery background would be a plus. Right? So there is no rule that recovery or asset risk, or any role for that matter, cannot apply for this kind of role. And then the second opportunity to get a salary increment is as part of your contract renewal process. I think this was also one question, that when can it happen? It's usually if you are not being awarded a new role that you have applied for, then it would be at time of your contract renewal. And ahead of that contract renewal, your manager should approach a recruitment and remuneration committee that is made of me, HR, and finance. And all 3 have to align on these decisions. And you have to propose somebody for a promotion to senior, right? Or say, this person is doing extremely well, the responsibilities are increasing, so I wish to submit this person for a salary increment. And all of these are, again, impartially looked at by 3 people, myself, HR, and finance. And we will ask to look at actual performance data.
Yeah.
All of you are assessed based on KPIs, so all submissions are welcome, but you need to prove that, okay, this person has done this. This is the KPI achievement.
And just to touch on that, I think that is why it's very important for you to be actively involved in the appraisal process. So at the point of contract extensions or contract renewals, appraisals are done between the manager and yourself as the employee. It's very important for you to actively participate in the appraisal so that such discussions in regards to merit increments or even recommendations for promotions are agreed upon and then submitted to the Recruitment and Remuneration Committee. And this can only be done if those conversations are had at that stage.
Okay, let's move to the third point, which was regarding contracts. A lot of you were asking for longer contracts, at least 2 years. Unfortunately, I don't have a definitive answer for you today, which means not yes, not no. And I understand, I think this came already in the last town hall, so I understand why you are asking again. As discussed last time, there's been a proposal made from Uganda team. Again, that's a proposal not based around everybody moved to 2 years or 3 years, but a proposal based on some people who've been here for some time and are performing very well should be eligible for longer. That proposal has to be approved at the group level, and that approval has not yet come. So all I can tell you is we are working on it. I'm sorry, you'll have to be more patient, but at least Uganda team is working on it, and hopefully, again, I do not want to commit, but hopefully in the next town hall we will have some updates for you on this one. And I want to just clarify that this is a policy that applies to everyone. Managers, officers, everyone alike, right? Nobody is treated differently here.
So I think I'll be taking on point number 4 in regards to the salary advance. Question is, it's now 3 consecutive months that I've been requesting for a salary advance. I'm not given. Are there specific banks considered while giving a salary advance? Now, I'm not sure if the individual is talking of a salary loan, as they've mentioned specific banks, or the salary advance that is issued by the company. However, in regards to the salary advance, I have to communicate, we've experienced quite a challenge with individuals who have applied for salary loans. For one reason or the other, it has not been accepted or approved, and then are now trying to get a salary advance. But then, as our process is and as we have communicated to staff, when you apply for a salary loan, we automatically block you from getting a salary advance because you cannot have a salary loan and salary advance. Now, the issue here becomes communication. When your loan, if you were successful and you have completed your loan application, you have to give us a certificate of completion. This is issued by the bank so that we can free you to get a salary advance. This is something that you have to communicate to us. As well, if your loan was not successful, you still have to communicate to us so that we can unblock you from being able to receive the salary advance. The same motivation that you have when going through the process of application, we receive phone calls, we receive emails, there are reminders. It is the same type of motivation that we want you to have when you are communicating, either if you failed to get the salary loan or you have completed the salary loan, so that we can best support and resolve such issues. The complication comes when we are not notified, and then of course automatically finance is not informed to release you to be able to get the salary advances. So with this individual, please communicate to the HR department, informing us whether the salary loan was not issued or whether you completed your salary loan successfully. We will need that certificate from the specific bank and then release you to be able to get salary advance. In regards to salary loans with banks, we have a standing MOU with Stanbic Bank, and so therefore it is the bank that is most easiest for employees to get salary loans. However, we still do support individuals from different banks who are banking with different financial institutions. We do support them with employee verification forms and LOUs with those banks. However, we do again have to communicate with those banks and ensure that they're very clear on certain specifics, as we do not have MOUs with them. So I hope that's very clear in regards to the salary advances and salary loans.
I think the next one is for you as well.
Insurance. Can dependents be added to the insurance cover? This is something that was brought up in the last town hall, and we promised that we would be engaging with our insurance provider to see how best we can support our employees to have dependents added to the insurance cover. So we have engaged in discussions, and the feedback that I can give you is that we have possible parties in terms of location. So HQ call center may have a party together, and the different regions will have collective parties as well. So it's very difficult to get everyone together, but perhaps we can consider having regional parties, and that way it's not just one branch celebrating the annual party, but then collective branches from the same region. I think maybe that is something that can work. We're doing regional, so for now, in terms of logistics, it just makes sense to have the regional annual parties as opposed to one big party. But again, this is the reason why we want to have the engagement committee, because if we can come up with creative ideas on how we can actually do this, we'll be open to the suggestions.
Yeah, and again, I would say that there's no policy around this. I think it's been done so due to...
I think they're asking for the part of insurance. I think
to be repeated.
Yeah, repeat the insurance part.
Okay, very quickly back in regards to insurance, we have discussed with our insurance provider to come up with an option for employees who are interested in negotiating a subsidized amount that will be paid by the employees out of pocket and have their dependents added to an insurance policy. The reason why as a company we cannot add them to the existing insurance policy that we have for our employees is because of the sky-high utilization rates. Simply for the primaries ourselves, we're constantly going beyond the 100% loss ratio. And so by adding additional dependents, it will be extremely costly for the company. And so this will end up being disadvantageous for the company and for our employees, because then we will also have to consider either reducing the type of coverage that we have for our employees or introducing things like co-pay. So what we did to avoid this is discuss with the insurance provider and agree on a subsidized amount that could be easily paid out of pocket by our employees. We'll be reaching out as a HR department, and any individual who is interested, please let us know so that we can understand the numbers and then share more information in regards to this option.
Thanks, Daphne. Let me take the next question. So one is loan for staff allow employees to access Boda loans. I think this is also something I've heard many times from many of you. And we looked very seriously into it. I was very keen to try to see if we can do something, at least with EVs to start with. Unfortunately, I got to the bottom of this issue from our group, which is that legally we cannot give loans to our own employees. These are legal clauses in our investors' agreement. Our investors are not allowing us to give loans to our own employees because of the risk that we would somehow manipulate the data. I think you can understand, right? As investors, they are giving us money to make sure that we lend to clients, to people who need these assets. They would not want that the money they are lending to us goes for an employee benefit and goes for an employee loan. Again, I'm sorry, maybe you were expecting something else, but that's the, and so officially let's close this topic, because now that I've gone to the bottom of it, this is the policy. It will not change. We cannot change these agreements with our lenders. So unfortunately, you can still ask a relative maybe to go for a loan, but for you as employee, we are legally not entitled to do it. Christmas holiday should be made bigger. It's too short for us to have time with families, yet they are far. We do not have a definitive answer for this because we've not decided exactly how the Christmas break is going to play out this year. My understanding from asking HR and collections in particular is that depending on where Christmas falls, we've been every year adjusting. And then we also have an imperative to keep customer service. We cannot just lock for a week. I understand everybody wants a good, decent break, but we have to serve our customers. Therefore, we will communicate later on exactly what are the formal Christmas holiday closure at company level. And then for staff who want an extended period of leaves, because maybe your family is in the north, in Kapshorwa, anywhere far from where you are based, well, you have paid leave, right? This is the purpose of paid leave, is to take some time off with your family. So you can take paid leaves, and the sooner you apply for it and lock it with your manager, the more sure you can be that you will be able to have this time off. I believe the policy used so far has been first come, first served basis. So if you really want to take an extended period of time off during Christmas, apply for leave now, and you are more likely to have it accepted. Next topic, management style and management assessment. Again, a few different questions related to the same topic. How best can some managers treat some staff still learning on job amidst pressure due to the surge of emergencies other than continuous threats? Some of our supervisors are using harsh means. I would like management to give us an opportunity to periodically evaluate our supervisors too. And lastly, I strongly suggest that we should have a practice of evaluating our supervisors on a monthly basis. All of these are very good comments. First of all, I would say we should differentiate a strict manager or supervisor from an abusive manager and supervisor. If you feel that your manager, your line manager, whoever it is, including if it's me, if you think I'm abusive, you can report me to compliance anonymously. You can say, I think this person is really out of line. This is not how people should be managed at Watu. And you give evidence, right? But you can report to compliance, first of all. When it comes to then giving feedback and not being abusive but being strict, this is exactly why we are implementing the 360 survey. Right? That's exactly the purpose, is for you to be able to give constructive feedback, positive or negative, to your supervisor. If you're happy with how your supervisor is handling you, you can just say it in the survey, I really appreciate, please continue to do X and Y. If you think that there are some things which are abusive, or, which should not be, or which are not the best way to manage you, you should report it through the 360. Again, it's been done already with all managers and HODs. We are going to do it in Q4 with supervisors and branch managers. This is not going to be monthly. Don't worry, every month supervisors and managers are assessed. They have KPIs like any other officer. But this particular 360 survey, this is going to be once or eventually twice a year. Right? So again, you have to take this opportunity. But last but not least, I think what transpires here is need for training to leaders. I think Daphne was referring to the fact that sometimes people are performing very well and would be promoted, but they don't necessarily have the leadership skills. You could do very well in your current role, then we are promoting you to a leadership position and actually realize that you have some gaps. We are doing quite a lot. There's been a leadership program launched this year. It's taking a lot of time and resources and money from Watu because we have our head of training from Kenya flying in. She's been training top managers, branch managers, some supervisors. I want to hope that progressively these trainings are going to, you will see the result, whoever you are, and we are going to have a more healthy management style. Now back to my separation between abusive and strict. If you are not meeting your KPI, you can also not expect your supervisor or manager to be super nice with you. It's also normal to have performance discussion. So again, try to be considerate. Is my manager just being strict with me because I'm not doing well? Or is my manager just not listening and being unnecessarily harsh? In that case, you can report to compliance or you can use the 360 survey to give that feedback. All right, let's move on. So now these were more operational questions. One was, when will management hold customer engagement meeting with Boda Bodas in the eastern part of the country? Good question. We have done it. This whole year, we've had a very comprehensive agenda of meeting our clients, Boda Boda clients, in every region. We actually started with East.
So East, Tororo, Iganga, Mbale, Jinja, all these places, I have been personally with the regional manager, BMs and Brian, in quarter one. In quarter two, we did Central and North, and in quarter three, we did West. Right? So actually, we have gone through all the branches. The plan was to then repeat this from next year onwards, so from Q1, and to leave quarter four for perhaps smaller areas where we may not have a branch, but we have customers. And so this has been going on in the East, including we've been having other Boda Boda engagement meetings in areas a bit far from the branch, but where we know we have a lot of customers. And whoever has asked this question, please raise to your branch manager or to your recovery asset risk supervisor if you feel like there is a need for us to engage a particular community in a particular area. You can always ask for it, and we shall do it in quarter four. And next year, we will repeat this whole thing again. And before moving on to the next question, I would say we have also started doing this same exercise with our SIMU dealers. In quarter three, we've done it in the West, in Central, in the East. So because it's a very, very healthy exercise with Boda Boda, we said let's also do it with our SIMO dealers. A very honest, transparent session where we hear their concerns, we update them, etc. Missing number plates, how far has the company reached as far as second number plate for second-hand bike is concerned? Because some clients with little areas need the plates before clearing the loan. So if I understand well this question, there's a concern about number plate replacement, but there is, if I understand well, this is an active client with an active loan, which he or she wants to clear, and the number plate is missing. So let me take this in steps. Yes, there's been a major issue with missing number plates. Number plates were not available generally in the country, the whole of Q2. Then towards end of Q2, they became available, but Ministry of Works prioritized new bikes, not old bikes. And finally, within Q3 now, we've reached an agreement and a way of working with Ministry of Works where they have started replacing our repo bikes number plates in Central. And now in October, we are expecting to start driving to different branches in regions to change number plates. But as of today, so I have good hope that within quarter four, this issue is going to be solved. But as of today, we are prioritizing repossessed bikes which are sitting in our warehouse. If a client is an active client with a bike with missing number plate, it does not mean he or she cannot be sorted, but he has to come officially to us. And he also has to understand that it's not our responsibility if the number plate has been missing, and it has a cost. Roughly, I believe it costs about 200,000 shillings to pay for the number plate fee and get Ministry of Works to replace it. So whichever customer wants to be sorted will have to ask for it, and I think after this meeting I will ask that we create like a ticketing system for branches to request number plate replacement for active loans, but we have to be very transparent to the customer that we Watu are not going to pay for the 200,000 shillings because you misplaced the number plate. Let me now move to SIMO repairs, and I think the best is that I let John, our product manager, answer these questions.
Thank you. I hope everyone can hear me. Right. Good morning. John is my name. So SIMO repairs, very difficult questions, very important questions, but I'll start with the easiest, which is the lowest one. Can a reported stolen phone be tracked when it is locked from our side? Unfortunately, it cannot be tracked. However, whenever a phone is stolen, we block it, and that means that even if a thief gets it and tries to pay, it will not unlock. That is the first scenario. The second thing that we do, we are now able to also provide you with the last location. But the last location is only dependent if the customer open the Watu app, because that is where we pick that location from. So to put it quite simply, we cannot give you a very good location whenever a phone is stolen unless that person was using the Watu app consistently, but even then that location is not going to be a live location. Okay, That's the first one. I hope that that makes sense. The second question is, second last is why clients who have completed their loans still get locked even after completion. We realized that we had a small bug within our Knox guard, which is our technology for locking our phones, and we have now officially rearranged the way we complete a loan. Previously, we would ask the system to complete a loan and then remove the device. But now what we are doing is that we are saying, before you complete the loan, add a timestamp of 1 year, remove factory reset blocking, remove ADB blocking, all these other security policies that we put on the phone, and then complete it. So we are trying to go around this bug that we discovered almost a month ago, so we should not have these issues anymore. If we do have, please reach out to Henry or to me or via any of your branch groups, and we will support that customer. We have another process that we follow to for cases which were, had this specific bug. I hope that that makes perfect sense. Now, this is the biggest problem that we have now. Why are repairs taking so long? It is true that over the past 2 months, our average time to repair has increased all the way from 9 days to almost 18 days now, and the reason is quite simply one. We thought with Samsung that if spare parts were not available, we would just be able to issue a whole brand new phone for a customer. It makes sense, right? There are no spare parts available. This phone needs to be repaired. The customer is waiting for it. Let's just give them a brand new phone. However, as part of this process, we did not look carefully to understand what are the different nuances that we have to consider before we make a replacement phone. So things such as, was the phone hacked? Did it ever have repair history? Did the customer ever possibly try to remove it from Knoxguard? What year was it released from the factory? Which chipset manufacturer was it? So many issues that we did not look into when we're designing this whole new process. So on paper, it seemed like it was going to be better for the customer to just get a brand new phone, and we thought that this would take 5 days. But now what we are seeing, because Samsung has not aligned on this replacement process, this process is almost taking 2 to 3 weeks per device. This is way longer than repairs. So Samsung have acknowledged this problem. We are engaging both local Samsung, East Africa Samsung, and African Samsung to do one of two things. The first one is make spare parts available so that we can go back to the old process, which is when a phone comes in and needs repair, we give the service center gets the repair parts that are required, or we can also go ahead with the current process that we have, but set out the actual guidelines, the nuanced guidelines that allow the process to be faster. So what is the criteria for us to issue a replacement device? So in summary, it is true, we have had a huge turnaround time for repairs, and it is worsened by the fact that we have just one repair service center. So all other players, including MCOP, are also hit by this, but we are working as hard as we can to get new service centers, to get this specific replacement process improved, and then also go back to the process whereby we have sufficient repair parts or spare parts for the devices within the service centers. I hope I have answered all three of the questions sufficiently. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next question on collections. Clarify on our collection that some clients pay and the system shows no collection for the day, mostly those that pay big amounts. Peter, if you have an answer to that.
Yes, there's an answer to this question. Sometimes there are delays because MyForce refreshes every top of the hour. So sometimes if a client makes a payment now, it would take up to an hour for it to reflect into our system. But specifically for these large payments, there's a workaround. In customer care, we have a team that's called the Payments Reconciliation Team. So if this happens in collections and you have a client who claims they have made a bulk payment and want confirmation, please raise the matter with your supervisor, collection supervisors, then reach out to the customer care payments reconciliation team. The payments reconciliation team can look through MyForce for unidentified payments and confirm whether or not we have received the payment. Yeah, so it's a problem that happens, and I get why customers would be concerned if they've paid a big amount and they're telling you and you haven't identified it. But the solution is reach out to the payments reconciliation team in customer care.
Thanks, Peter. I think 3 more questions. So one on logbooks. Reason why logbooks, especially for TVS delay. Without going into too much details here, I would say, yes, there's been some delays in logbooks, in particular with TVS, that has been identified, and now this has been escalated to the top management. There's also been instances where we realized we have done our job, everything has been done, paid to URA, etc., and it is marked as done from our side, but we realize that URA ends up never completing the process, right? So I would say logbook transfer is quite a complicated process involving client who has to give us TIN as well as all the necessary information. Some of them do not. Watu has to do its part, the dealer has to do its part, and URA also has to be timely, right? So it's one of these processes that involves a lot of different stakeholders. What I can tell you is that Watu's commitment, and will not stop until we get there, is that anyone finishing a loan today from Watu should get the logbook within 30 days. This is how we measure the performance of this department, and this is the target that is set. Most logbooks are being transferred within 30 days. Unfortunately, some of them delay, and I understand it can create some dissatisfaction. So believe me, we are on it. Patricia Kassiri, who is now overseeing this process together with Isaac Mweru, are on it, and we will make sure we can honor this promise of 30 days for logbook transfers. Last slide. Is company intending to do CSR or charity programs? Good question. I think I also answered it last time, but I'll answer it again. I believe strongly that what Watu does already has a purpose. It is not charity, but what we do is generally giving opportunities and access to finance to people who are unbanked and do not have access to this. So, it would be very different if we were selling alcohol or cigarettes, and then you feel like you need to do something good to compensate the bad you do. We are doing good. We are giving people access to finance where banks would typically deny them that access. We are giving them access to electric vehicles at a very cheap rate, and we are giving them access to smartphones. That would be my first answer to this, and why you are not seeing big CSR charity programs. Secondly, we do have a CSR strategy, and that is mostly focused on things which are linked to what we do in our business as usual. What I mean is that Shule is actually full part of our CSR strategy. We are not obligated to do Shule. It is not a business, and to be honest, it is not really giving us a lot of revenues and money and profits. But we do it because genuinely we believe that helping our Boda clients move to the formal sector by having an official driving license and not being harassed by police, as well as being trained on road safety, is the best thing we can do for them. So road safety is really the biggest component of our CSR strategy with Shule, but also smaller things that maybe you don't hear. But for example, lately we have donated some protective gears to the Boda community, right? Generally with the Boda community also we have been donating tents and chairs. We've been trying to help them structure themselves. So that I would say is part of our core CSR initiatives. I'll let you come, Daphne. Now, this does not mean that we cannot do more things. I believe last year a blood donation program was done. This is probably something we can do again this year. And I'm also very happy to hear from staff, if there is a good cause that you generally think we should do something about, even more if it is related to our core business, feel free to propose it to us. But as far as I'm concerned, I would say what we do every day is good. Besides what we do every day, we have CSR programs related to road safety, and that's, I think, a very relevant thing to do for us given our business. And then for anything else, come to us, and I would say, especially if you come to me and say, I as staff wants to contribute from my own money, and I'm asking company to top up. That is also things that can be done, right? But you can come and ask for or suggest initiatives. Yeah, Daphne, you want to add something else?
Yes, thank you so much, Damien. I think you've made a very good point in regards to ownership, right? So the recommendation of engaging in more CSR and charity programs is taken on. However, we do have certain initiatives that we have carried out. For example, you mentioned the blood drive, but also with different branches and HQ itself, I believe even call center, we have had programs whereby we are donating clothes, toys, and different things that we have in our homes we did the elderly homes. We've also done a charity drive for, I think it was a kids, yes, the kids orphanage. And so I drive again the point in regards to ownership. While the company can do more, let's also look inward. Let's look internally. If this is something that matters to you, then please recommend these programs, recommend these activities that we can engage more. Set them up at your branches on a quarterly basis. Agree together and come up with ideas, a charity that you would like to donate to. Come together as a branch, as a team, and donate. We will fully support this. But again, the point is ownership, you know. We make up Watu as a company. And so if this is something that is important to us as staff, as employees, as the individuals who make Watu, then let's do it together. And we'll fully support in terms of management.
Thank you, Daphne. This is the last question regarding company bikes. I believe this is probably someone either belonging to marketing team or recovery asset risk. Odometers are always getting 40. Why don't tracker reports be put in use since they provide accurately, since all field bikes have well-functional trackers? On-field bikes, they are those which have been in use for more than 3 or 4 years, and even the repair and maintenance costs are so high. Can't they be disposed of and such stuff given new bikes? Very good questions. On odometers and trackers, yes, trackers are in place, but odometers are still necessary. It's not much to ask. I think the ask from our side is that every Monday you take a picture of the odometer. This is a must. We've seen some people not doing it. Those people who don't do it, please do it, because at some point we may revoke your fuel card. Right? So do take picture of the odometer. We are then comparing the odometer data with the tracker data to make sure that we are looking at things the right way. But you're right, trackers are in place. Odometers also have to be in place. We did see that some odometers are not functioning, in which case we are going to repair them. So we have already identified a few which are not functioning. You can also, by yourself, report to your branch manager and supervisors and ask for the odometer to be replaced. On then old bikes being replaced, this is a fair question and it may be done. Since we have started really looking at fuel expense per person, it has become obvious to us that some old bikes overconsume, right? And it may not make sense to keep them. So we are going to look into it. If you at personal level as employee do feel like your bike is not in order for maintenance costs, fuel consumptions, reasons, or even because you feel it's not safe for you to ride that bike, by all means report to your manager and we shall on case by case see if indeed we can dispose of this bike or at least take it away from the employee and give you a new one. Right? Main thing is the bike has to be safe for you to drive. And 2, we have to look at the overall cost of maintenance and fuel. So we are having these discussions based on the data we have, but feel free to also raise it by yourself. All right, so this is all the questions we had. Again, I want to thank all of you for raising questions. I want to thank all of you for overall good Q3. Again, we've done really well on loan origination. We need to continue to do well in Q4, but we also need to do a lot better on portfolio quality. This will be a major focus in Q4. So wishing you good luck for Q4. And if any question has not been answered in this meeting, you can still go to the link and ask it. We may respond to it later. Thank you all. Have a good Q4.